12 minutes after 8. Welcome to the third hour of the show. Property speaking today. More South Africans are investing in solar power systems for their property, or at least considering going this route. And some of you are waiting for your bonuses in December, so you don't get to feel the effects of load shedding and get to deal with the ever increasing electricity prices. But also, there seems to be a growing appetite of people looking for homes that already have these systems in place. Or people that are off the grid completely, and they are willing to pay just about anything for that. And that is a conversation we'll be getting into up next with Philip Skuman.
25% on my monthly premiums since I added my daughter's car to my bills comprehensive cover from My Way.
For a quote, SMS move to 44430. My Way, licensed non-life insurer and FSP. Premiums are risk profile dependent. Standard rates and T's and C's apply.
Unstoppable. Uncontainable.
Give it up for
Mobo's hottest frequencies. Mobo's hottest frequencies.
And we're joined by broker and owner of REMAX this morning, Philip Skuman. Morning, Philip. How you doing?
Thanks for completion. Thanks for having me.
Be happy to have you in the studio. So, if I'm looking at selling my home and I am off the grid, does that put me at an advantage, at a disadvantage, or a bit of both? Like, let's look at the pros and cons. I want to sell.
Okay, so it'll definitely draw attention.
Okay.
Will it make sense financially to purchase it like that? Not yet. Okay, the banks need to definitely look at structuring this package, but the bank in conjunction with SARS. Let me say why. I say that to say this. We have recently had, in fact, one of the largest installers in Limpopo. We sold his house, and he had about 300,000 net value of system installed. That's enough to take him off the grid.
Right.
That 300,000 cost saved or feeds his electricity bill, which is basically like $5,000 a month, 4.5, $5,000. So if you can finance the system for less than 4.5 grand or $5,000 a month, which is the electricity usage, you'll be saving money. But the trick here is when we sold it. Now let's say the house was 2.5. That was the value of the house without solar. 2.5.
Yeah.
So we could just add the 300K, right, to make it 2.8.
Mm-hmm.
No.
No?
Yes and no. You could, but now what is the big problem here is the transfer duty that increases by about 100K. It's about less, so don't quote me on the figure, but it's an unnecessary. Now you're paying transfer costs on a solar system, not the property. You get what I'm saying? So it inflates the amount transferred, which is good for area value, but the people are not comfortable with it as yet. Plus, me as a professional, I need to advise you, listen, there are easier ways. Like, have you got a business? If you've got a business, let's asset finance the solar system. Now you're paying it off like a car. You're writing off all interests. You're claiming back VAT. You see the benefits here. So you're buying a 300,000 rand system for about 200. If you're buying it through a company, with the tax implications that holds.
Sure.
You as a normal consumer bonding it will pay for that system over 20 years. Although after 10 years, you're going to need to start replacing some of your system. But at that time, you'll have ample equity in your house and you can refinance. And these systems get cheaper as time goes. As the market, becomes more usage friendly towards solar. And there's a big movement in it. But we in between us having a very good system and it working, but it's going to take some hard work together between the banks and SARS, so we can figure out a system to not penalize the consumer or the buyer or the seller for this. It's supposed to just blend in. You get what I'm saying? We're not, because at this point SARS is either penalizing you or the bank is penalizing you.
I'm wondering though if it's different. I mean, you're talking about you giving advice to someone who's selling their home. Would it be different for if I was a buyer and I'm buying a house that has pre-installed solar system? Like, what precautions would I need to?
You are gonna, well, number one, you don't know who installed the system because there's a lot of fly-by-nights running around. Number one.
Yeah.
So was the installation done by a reputable installer? That's number one. And what kind of products are you buying? You don't necessarily know that You know, are you buying the Toyota or the Mercedes? And you don't know that.
There's
You
that
know,
in this world as well.
so when you're going solar, I would advise everybody to research a little bit, just to know what, you know, when you're buying a car, you know what you're buying.
Mm-hmm.
You know how long it lasts. You know, and you know, and you know, and you know. Okay, same thing we need with solar.
Yeah.
Because it is an asset, and we need to do asset finance. It's the most lucrative way to finance it currently is asset finance, like a motor vehicle. And for businesses, that makes a ton of sense. But for a salaried employee, you don't have the same benefits in terms of tax deduction. Now you can bond it, and it's much cheaper. So 300K would be like $3,000 a month, whereas an asset finance person would pay about 7. You get what I'm saying? So you won't necessarily save money if you're doing asset finance, but from a VAT and a tax point of view, there's a lot more benefit. So, but at the end of the day, if you purchase the machine or the system on a bond and you install it in your own home, no problems.
Yeah.
Comes when you want to sell it. You know, sorry.
The roof rigging, it's fine.
Yes, but and then, yeah. So that's the thing which sort of sets us back a little bit, but we're almost there. But I would suggest it's almost better to take if you're doing this purchase, you want to buy this house, so let's take the asset off and let's see if there's an alternative way to finance it instead of paying transfer duty on the solar system as well. That just added value to the house, and now, you know, we don't even know what they depreciate like. You know, but you know, solar systems, it's such a new thing. We don't know what they depreciate like. So we are assuming now, based on guarantees given to us by suppliers, and we are also assuming, but that's one of the reasons I prefer asset finance for this, as opposed to bonded finance, because bonded finance is 20 years, and you're obviously going to replace some parts, but asset finance is 5 years, or 10 years with the banks. The banks also give you a 10-year option, and 10 years is ample because after 10 years we know likelihood is that you're going to start replacing batteries, and then after 15 years probably the inverter, and then after 20 years the panels. That's what I'm assuming based on guarantees given by suppliers. But how it affects your house is definitely, it's worth looking at somebody who's done this before. I'm talking an agent who's looked at all the options and that has sold a house with solar before, because they'll be aware, because not all agents will know this either. Even though you would expect it, we're not all cut from the same cloth.
Philip always reminds us. All right, thank you so much, Philip, for coming through and having this conversation. Broker and owner of REMAX, Philip Skuman.